On another matter, 2 years ago, the American people elected a president who claimed he would govern as a uniting moderate. Underscoring that mandate, voters gave him unusually small coattails, the slimmest possible majority in Congress. The all-Democratic government inherited an economy that was, by every account, already primed and ready for economic recovery. Vaccines were already flooding the country. Major bipartisan stimulus had just passed literally days earlier. And remember, before the temporary COVID shock, years of Republican policies had our economic fundamentals humming along: low inflation, low unemployment, robust growth, an outstanding trifecta for working families. To put it as plainly as possible, Democrats had one job: just don't mess things up. But alas, fast forward to today. Overall inflation is a staggering 13.2% since President Biden and his party came into power. Consumer prices through the roof. Supply chain chaos, left and right. The worst single year for both grocery inflation and electricity inflation since the fallout back in the Jimmy Carter era. The stock market has plummeted below where it was when President Biden took office, cutting the value of America's retirement savings just as the cost of living has soared. America's real wages, our citizens' buying power after inflation, is lower today than it was the moment President Biden put his hand on the Bible. Democrats asked for total control. They got total control, and they created total disaster. The net effect of this far-left policy experiment has been the equivalent of an all-out economic warfare against the American middle class. But alas, Democrats hardly seem to even notice, much less care. The same day the latest sky-high monthly inflation report came out, our colleagues literally headed down Pennsylvania Avenue, to the White House for a folk music concert celebrating additional hundreds of billions they had just dumped into green energy subsidies. Well, Mr. President, you know who isn't partying? Working families in Wisconsin who are paying a Democratic inflation tax averaging $673 every single month just to tread water. In Georgia, $681 every month. In Colorado, $953 every month. None of this had to happen. Didn't have to happen. Democrats were literally warned in advance that their plans for far-left reckless spending would send inflation through the roof and crush normal Americans. So what did our colleagues do? One gigantic party-line spending bill in 2021, another huge reckless taxing and spending spree just this past summer, student loan socialism that is cashiers and carpenters eating the graduate school debt of doctors and lawyers. It adds up to nearly $3 trillion of party line waste. $3 trillion of party line waste. And it adds up to 13.2% inflation and counting. So, Democrats wanted one-party control of Washington. They got it. They promptly used that power to create a literal nightmare for American families. Now, one final matter. In my home state of Kentucky, college basketball ranks up there with horse racing as one of our signature pastimes. Our greatest players have become local heroes. Our greatest seasons become local legends. So it's no surprise then that our basketball coaches are larger-than-life figures. Plenty of notable ones have passed through the halls of our universities. But the University of Kentucky's John Calipari, Coach Cal to most of us, is already one for the history books. Of course, there's his record with the program: 365 wins, 4 Final Four appearances, and a national championship. There's also his record of public service. During the past 13 years with UK, Coach Cal has leveraged his position in the public eye to transform the face of charitable giving in Kentucky. In recognition of his work, the organization Multiplying Good presented Coach Cal with their Jefferson Award for Public Service this year. Previous recipients of this prestigious award included Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, Colin Powell. Coach Cal is the first men's college basketball coach to receive the honor. Sometimes Coach Cal's efforts are local. Every Thanksgiving, he helps folks around Lexington enjoy the family meal they deserve. Every Christmas, he gathers presents for children in need. But sometimes Coach Cal's efforts touch every corner of the Commonwealth. As Kentucky reeled from multiple crises in the past few years, his assistance has proved invaluable. During the pandemic, he helped Fayette County students access the resources they needed to continue their schooling from home. When tornadoes hit western Kentucky last winter, he rallied Kentuckians to raise money through a telethon. And when heavy rainfall and floods damaged communities in eastern Kentucky this summer, he did the same, pulling our state together to help victims rebuild. In total, Coach Cal's telethons have raised more than $12 million for charitable ventures in Kentucky and across the world. So, thank you. Thank you, Coach Cal, for your service to our state, and congratulations on receiving this distinguished award.